So welcome back to the show. Before the break, I was engaging with Mark Kaigwa, the founder of Nendo, and we're just doing an analysis of some of the industries that have been disrupted because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So Mark, I wanted just to continue in this particular conversation, and one of the things that we've been seeing, especially online, and this is in reference to content creators, most of them, there's no longer events. Most people have been forced to do, what's it called, their gigs online. I've been seeing a lot of DJs, a lot of artists do their events online. But the challenge here now remains in that how exactly can they go about monetizing it, especially in the digital, this particular digital age?
Yeah, no, I think the entertainment sector broadly has really taken a hit. You saw the president announcing measures to just seek to provide for artists, and we'll see how those measures pan out. But it's just it's a telling of just the challenge that they face now. Now, for those who are able and capable and connected with their audience in this way, they have the opportunity to go online. And so we've seen a number of DJs hosting live sessions. One of those was actually picked up by one of the stations at Standard Media Group, and that started with, I think, DJ Nijo and DJ Pinye, who did what they call the Sunday Cruise, which they normally do as a live event at Nairobi hotspot, let me call it that, and now I believe it's on Spice FM. So you have kind of this shift of wave, and those are DJs who are just going live. Had the whole camera set up, saying we would do this just online in our living, kind of like setup or office, if you will. And here they are doing it on a radio show as well. So I'd say that for a lot of DJs, including the ones I mentioned, they have shifted to online. For recording artists, you had Nyashinsky, who in the building up to the launch of this album, Lucky You, did an actual listening party virtually, and got, I believe, 11,000 live streams on one channel and 8,000 in terms of Instagram and YouTube respectively. So just building up to the actual launch of the music. And then you have obviously smaller artists that are seeking to connect better with their fans online and composing and doing sessions. So I've dropped in and out of a few. As you'd imagine, it's it's probably not the same, but it definitely has its allure. There's even a gentleman by the name of Mugambi Ndiga, who he had previously been doing a live screening show at K1 in Nairobi, where he'd show films and movies, and now he's moved online with that, and he gets just over a couple dozen people like tuning in, and then they're all taking part in watching a movie together for the experience and the community. So people just looking to do everything they can to continue to connect with their audiences.
All right. I don't know, in your perspective, I don't know if you've done any particular analysis with regards to monetization, especially for the content creators across these particular platforms. I don't know, YouTube, you can be able, artists can monetize their particular content, but besides that, on your analysis, are there other models that artists can use to enable them monetize, especially using the social media platforms?
Yeah, look, I think artists will be the first to tell you that they don't necessarily make the money from streaming or from plays online or from video views, but instead they make it from touring, from shows, from offline, peer-to-peer, face-to-face, on the stage with the audience, that sort of engagement. So there's no kidding that the largest revenue source has been cut, has been affected. What we can say though for online is that the opportunity is there to try to reach fans, to ask them to make a contribution. But it's really tough times for them, because I wish I could tell you that YouTube can cut you a check, or Instagram, which has begun to monetize IG Live or Instagram Live. Well, Instagram TV specifically, but lives as well, just generally opening up monetization. But the way that this works is it's a global online auction, and it needs people spending at a high level to allow the auction price to go up. So there are Kenyan YouTubers, for example, who have gotten 1 million views on their video, and even done an example. I'm just thinking of there's a young lady in the makeup field called Wabosha Maxine, and she did a YouTube video that I saw where she said, I got 1 million views, but look at the check that Google is cutting to me. And it's because Google is saying, well, the people watching in those markets, we pay what advertisers pay. And if the advertising auction is low, then it just makes it a bit more difficult.
And from entertainment, still sticking on that particular subject, who do you think have had, which particular platforms have had an increase in demand from your analysis?
Well, if it's an increase in demand, it's Netflix. I think Safaricom's CEO, Mr. Negwa, just came out with this view that there was an increase of 4 times the amount of traffic on their network. So there's been a significant increase so far.
Education forms part of your report, and you just need an analysis, and you're like, some of the rising demands is with regards to e-learning. But one of the interesting thing, especially on ground, because we've been seeing this debate a lot with the Ministry of Education and also the parents, that it's seemingly impossible for most of the people to access e-learning because of some of the limitations. I don't know what exactly informed this. Is it just an analysis for the urban areas, or is it all, it cuts all across?
Look, I think nobody could have prepared us for the scale and the set of challenges that come with this. Even with mobile network operators, just the quality of service that they have to offer to have everybody persistently connected in this way was, and I know this term is being a bit overused, but it was unprecedented. It was unforeseen. Maybe that's the word I should use.
It's a better word.
And so with that, no, much better word. But with that, what I'd say is that there's regulating online learning, which I believe the Ministry of Education has an interest in doing. The Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development has an interest in doing, and they have launched their experience for distributed learning, let's call it, because you have radio, you have television, and then you have the internet. Now, the thing with the internet, I have to say, and this is because as Nendo, we published a report where we consider megabytes a form of currency that people actually spend. It's not just infinite. You have people who will have to purchase bundles to get access. And so I believe Safaricom, Airtel are two of the telcos who have, in their own way, said, we're going to pick a few platforms for e-learning and allow people to either get zero-rated access, so they can consume as much as they want, or get a specific bundle for that platform and then use that and can replenish that over time. So you have those steps. For Telcom, they partnered with the University of Nairobi, said all learners and staff there can basically get connected through a special bundle there. So you do have the telcos playing their part, but for the ordinary people, yeah, it takes a lot of rewiring of previous behavior to set up learners with battery life, for instance, which some people can take for granted. But yeah, with connectivity issues or challenges of electricity, that's also one of the challenges, especially with devices.
All right, and as we just come to the end of the conversation, I'd like just to get from your view, what do you think will be the industries that will be completely disrupted out of COVID-19? What new businesses are going to come out at the end of this?
Yeah, well, what I'd say is that no business currently has been spared. So public sector, private sector, non-profit, civil society, media, you name it. There's not a place that hasn't been affected, because we've been affected as people at the end of the day. So what I would say is that I think for now, I can't even predict that. I think the data that we have, we're giving our clients, proprietary numbers and insights, and then publishing for the public free reports like this that any Kenyan out there can visit nendo.co.ke/COVID and download for themselves for free, along with our other free reports. So to me, I would say that there's not a single industry that's been spared. And what we are seeing, though, is transportation, movement of people. When you look at weddings, when you look at gatherings especially,
yes,
you may not gather the same way again.
Yeah. All right, so Mark, I appreciate for having gotten time to speak to us. I know despite the disruption from your son and daughter,
no worries.
But I highly appreciate. So you can get this particular report that you're discussing on Nendo's website. That's nendo.co.ke/COVID. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been The Business Coach, where we help entrepreneurs better their businesses. So see you same time next week right here on KTN Home.